Have you ever sliced open a hard-boiled egg and instantly doubted its quality? Seeing that grayish-green discoloration coating the yolk, maybe with some dark spots, a weird white streak cutting through the core, and a chalky, crumbly texture, most people would immediately think the egg was spoiled or fake. But that's actually not the case. The issue has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of the egg you bought, but rather a very common boiling mistake that almost everyone makes without realizing it. So, what is that intimidating discoloration anyway? And is it harmful to your health? Don't throw that egg away just yet. By applying one incredibly simple trick in a few moments, you'll be able to boil perfect eggs exactly the way you want, every single time. Whether you prefer a runny, jammy yolk, a custardy center, or a fully hard-boiled egg that still keeps its bright yellow color, you will have total control over your eggs from now on. The secret is coming up in just a few seconds. But before we dive into the boiling secrets, don't skip the cleaning and selection process. Even if you buy your eggs from a supermarket or directly from local farms, the shells are loaded with bacteria. If you put them straight into the fridge without washing them first, cross-contamination can occur, affecting your entire refrigerator and the other foods inside, which is why cleaning them right after bringing them home is a crucial step. To get your eggshells squeaky clean without that slimy residue, here is a highly effective little hack. First, add a pinch of sea salt to your washing bowl, then slice a fresh lemon and squeeze all the juice right in. Use the leftover lemon peel as a scrubber to gently rub the surface of the shells. I guarantee this is the fastest and cleanest way to wash eggs, lifting away even the most stubborn dirt and stains. Once the eggs are clean, I'm going to run a quick experiment using 2 different pots so you can clearly see exactly why that green ring happens. In the first small pot, I'm dropping 2 eggs in and setting a timer to boil them continuously for 20 minutes from start to finish. And once they're done, I'll leave them sitting right in that hot water instead of taking them out. For the larger white pot, I'm using a completely different technique by not letting the water come to a rolling boil. When the water just starts bubbling at the bottom, right around 185 to 195 degrees Fahrenheit, I gently lower the eggs in. Next, I use a slotted spoon to swirl the water very gently in one direction for the first 20 to 30 seconds. This helps center the yolks perfectly, making them look beautiful and cook much more evenly when sliced. Throughout the cooking process in the white pot, I keep the heat low and never let the water boil furiously. I pull the first egg out at 7 minutes, the second at 9 minutes, and the third at 11 minutes. And every single egg from this pot goes straight into an ice bath to cool down immediately. Now, let's slice them open together to see the magic of these different cooking times. The 7-minute egg turns out beautiful, with a warm, runny yolk that cooks evenly from the outside in. You can just feel that rich, velvety texture. The 9-minute egg is just as amazing, with a perfectly set, jammy yolk that keeps its soft texture and uniform golden color. Even at 11 minutes, the yolk is fully cooked through, but not crumbly at all, staying incredibly flavorful, rich, and holding its shape beautifully. Finally, the most shocking difference comes from the 2 eggs boiled for 20 minutes in the small pot. When cut open, you can clearly see the yolk is both dry and chalky, with a distinct grayish-green layer completely wrapping around the outside. That is the result of a chemical reaction between the sulfur in the egg white and the iron in the yolk when overcooked, combined with letting them sit in hot water instead of shocking them in ice water right after boiling. Pretty fascinating and useful knowledge, right? Just by following this timeline and mastering these precise benchmarks, you can confidently control the doneness of every single egg you boil from here on out. But the fun doesn't stop here. Stick around with me to discover how to make an incredibly simple soufflé pancake that takes just 3 minutes of prep time. This recipe saves you time, saves you money, and most importantly, your family is absolutely going to rave about it when you serve it. First, we're going to separate the yolks and whites of 3 eggs. Once the egg whites are separated, cover the bowl tightly with plastic wrap and pop it into the fridge for about 10 to 15 minutes to get them nice and chilled. While waiting, I'll prep the yolk mixture first by adding a splash of fresh milk and a few drops of vanilla extract to neutralize any gamey egg smell, then whisking it all together. Next, sift 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour into the bowl and keep whisking until you get a perfectly smooth, lump-free batter. Once the egg whites have chilled in the fridge for 10 minutes, take them out, squeeze in a few drops of fresh lemon juice, and whip gently on low speed for about 20 seconds. For the next step, add a tablespoon of sugar and keep whipping on low until small, tight air bubbles start to form. At this point, add the remaining sugar a little bit at a time, gradually cranking the mixer up to high speed. We're going to whip the whites until they form stiff, glossy peaks with a thick, smooth texture. To check if your egg whites are ready, here's a handy little trick. Try flipping the bowl upside down. If the whipped whites stay completely still, without sliding or falling out, congratulations. You've nailed this step. Now, scoop about a third of the whipped egg whites into the yolk batter. For this part, remember you absolutely cannot stir in a circular motion. Instead, use a spatula to gently fold the mixture from bottom to top, cutting through the center and scraping the bottom of the bowl using a gentle fold technique. The reason for this is that if you stir too hard or use a circular motion, you will pop all those tiny air bubbles in the whipped whites, causing the batter to deflate, which leaves you with a dense, flat pancake that won't rise. Once the first batch is incorporated, fold in the remaining 2/3 of the egg whites using the exact same gentle method. Keep folding and scraping the bottom until everything is completely combined, smooth, and filled with tiny uniform air pockets. Now, you're ready to spoon the batter onto a pan and shape it however you like. Lightly grease a non-stick skillet with a touch of cooking oil or a small pat of butter, and cook the pancakes over low heat. After just a few minutes, as the kitchen fills with the mouth-watering aroma of rich eggs mingled with sweet vanilla, and the pancakes turn beautifully golden brown on both sides, your dish is a total success. It's honestly that simple and quick, isn't it?